All right. Sorry about my tardiness. I was going to get my little puppy Bailey from the groomers. So, and like I said, if you are all not gonna be able to come today, that's fine. I will record some gems like I did for last week, and you all can watch the replay on your own time. And I am going to pull up really quickly the the chat of the group and just kind of go over some of the things that I have noticed, comments. But before we start, I just want to thank you all for hanging in there. We are done with week one. Week one is over, and I'm sorry the lighting and the glare. Hopefully, that is not, maybe that's a little bit better. You all hung in there. We're done with week one. Week one is down. We're into week two. And hopefully, you all have kind of gotten into the rhythm of drinking your water, sticking to what we are eating. And now we are getting into some movement this week. Hopefully, you all were still doing your dry brushing to move those toxins out of your system, get those going. So, with me, whenever I kind of tune into my eating and my lifestyle, I have to run to the bathroom every 5 seconds. So, I know you all probably have had problems with that, especially if you are working and you're busy, and I have patients and clients, and I can't like just go off to the bathroom. So that can get kind of challenging, especially if you are not used to drinking your water daily like you should. And when things start to shift and the toxins are moving, your kidneys are picking up and getting all those things out of there. So hopefully you have got the groove of things this week. Now, some of the things that I'm going to talk about today, I am going to go over just what you should be eating. I know a lot of you all said, I don't think I'm eating enough. I'm not hungry. Am I getting the right amount of nutrients or things that we need to be eating on a daily basis? So we'll go over that really quickly. I just want to touch on that just so we're cleared up, so you don't have any questions. But if you do, continue to write them in the group. So just every day when you think about any meal that you have, and it's easier if you prep, so you don't have to think about, am I getting enough? What am I getting? And that sort of thing. When you sit down and meal prep for the week, you want to look at, I posted a plate. It was like a meal plate into the group. It had your carbs, which is your vegetables, and a lot of them were cruciferous vegetables, or green leafy, broccoli, or sweet potatoes, or kale, broccoli. Those are still considered carbs. They are carb-like vegetables, but they are cruciferous in nature. That helps with our estrogen detoxification, gives our liver a boost, takes some of that burden off, and making sure that our estrogens are detoxed through the right pathway, that are not DNA damaging, that are not kind of cause those PMS symptoms like the breast tenderness, the menstrual cramps, the bloating, the all the weight that you're gaining during that time, all those shifts. Okay. Then you should be able to have either an oil, coconut oil, we've got our avocados, and we've got our salmon, some type of fat. And like I was telling someone in the chat the other day, like a lot of these fats are really dense. So you don't need a whole lot, just like a handful, like or a tablespoon of coconut oil when you're cooking your food. So if you get in the habit of cooking your coconut oil and specific avocado oils with your food, you know that you've got your healthy fat in that. And then you can add in your vegetables and your good quality protein. So that's what your plate should look like. So it should be half of your plate should be like your vegetables, and then 1/4 should be fat, 1/4 should be your protein on the side. So just as a plate, when you do your meals, that's what it should look like. And then in between, if you've got some, a handful of almonds or cashews. Now, we're not going to go crazy with it and have the whole bag eaten, because I have had issues where I start and I cannot stop because I love the crunch. I like the satisfaction of a crunch. So I'll just pick up a cucumber instead. If you like that crunch, get a vegetable that has the same crunch factor. I know a lot of people just have, it's a mindset thing, and it's very satisfying to have crunch. Do something else, but don't go overboard with the almonds and the nuts, because that can get you in trouble too. Just a handful get you going, and you can put flavoring on it, cinnamon, you can put like garlic seasoning to kind of spice it up a little bit, especially if you're like one of those that like that. So that's what I really want to focus on. And once you have that down, you know that you are going to have less cravings during the day, and you're going to have more than likely have less blood sugar spikes during the day, leading to less cravings. And so you're going to be good and not being hangry most of the day. Okay. So I wanted to make sure everybody was good on that. And then after that, I don't count calories. I don't look at those type of things. I've never been one to do that since I've been on my journey to healing. It was just looking at my food and, eliminating some of the highly inflammatory foods of what we're doing these 30 days, and then adding in what those vegetables and the fats and all the things that are good and plentiful for us. Okay. And like I said, if you look at the list of things that we are going to eliminate versus the things that we could actually have, it's a no-brainer. You can actually have a plentiful of things. It's those things that we go to when we are down or when we're sad that gives us that instant gratification, although you are needing some type of other mineral or vitamin, not the carbs or the pasta, the gluten, the high fructose corn syrups, or what your brain is looking to satisfy that easy fix. Okay, so we are going to shift our mindset and think, what can I have? Because I know that there are several things on these lists of vegetables that you probably have never tried. So we've got to get into mindset of trying different things. You limit yourself when you have the mindset, well, I can't eat that. I can't eat what such and such is eating. You're eating for you. And once you go through this program, you'll see if you try to introduce certain foods, you'll know your body will tell you, and you won't feel good, or you may not even want that food again. You might not even crave that food because you have been getting the nutrients and vitamins that you've been needing and lacking in your diet. So therefore, after a period of time, you're getting that, and therefore you're not having those cravings. Because like I said in the Facebook group, cravings can mean that you're lacking in a certain mineral or nutrient. Okay. And a lot of it is mindset. And a lot of these inflammatory foods do have a factor in it, just like sugar, like heroin, like morphine, like any of the drugs. It will alter some of your brain activity and some of the hormones and receptors there that are very similar to drugs. So sugar being one of them. Okay. So just to kind of shift our mind to those type of things. And so I want to touch bases on what happened to me last week with my sleep. And I think I had posted in the group, I felt less bloated. I didn't feel as heavy, but I was dealing at the very beginning of the week, I was dealing with just insomnia. And it went from either waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the night, not being able to sleep. And by the end of the week, I wasn't able to turn my brain off at all. And I think it wasn't anything to do with me starting the program with you all or anything like that, because I was doing all the things. I was, drinking my water, things were shifting. I was feeling better. My body felt better, but for whatever reason, my brain was not wanting to shut off during the night for whatever reason. And I think what happens the last several weeks, so it had nothing to do with what I was doing this week or last week, should I say. It was the weeks prior to, leading up to, I think, what happened with me. My eating kind of slacked off. I was very stressed. I wasn't taking any time for myself. I wasn't doing any self-care. Some of the things that I tell you all to get with, I was not doing it myself. And it really came back to bite me in the butt at that time. So what I did, and I know I was probably lacking in some of the vital nutrients and that sort of thing. So what I had to do is end up taking magnesium glycinate, and that really did the trick. And probably the end of this month, I'm going to be drawing all my labs because it's time for that. And there's a lot of the labs that my primary care won't draw. I need to see what my mag is. I need to see what my zinc is. All those. I mean, they're going to do a vitamin D. They may do CBC with diff, but I'm going to get the full shebang at the end of the month just to see what my mag is, because I know it was severely low, because after I started taking the supplement, I was sleeping again like a baby. So it was the end of the week. I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I slept wonderful. I had no problems getting back to sleep. So that tells me that I still need to get extra magnesium in my diet. And a lot of times we try to eat the foods that are rich, like nuts and seeds are rich in plentiful of magnesium. Unless you're just eating handfuls, a lot of times we need supplement because of the soil and the dirt that is made with our food and grown. It's the quality is not, so therefore we have to supplement on certain things. But I urge you to make sure, like I was telling Doretha earlier in the week, make sure you know your level so you know exactly what you need to supplement for. And I know for me, magnesium, I have leg cramps at night. I just sometimes my muscles ache. So that was a red flag for me to, something was going awry. And once I did, I was able to sleep better. My brain was turning off. It was almost like my body felt good and relaxed, but my brain was still going. And I think because I just wasn't doing the self-care that I needed to do over the last few weeks. Okay. So that's one thing I will say. Just because like this week you're doing all you need to do, but sometimes things that you've done like 2 weeks or a month prior can show back up, especially in your moods and your periods, all of those things. It really can show and later. So if you can just kind of be mindful week to week of some of the things that you do, because I can actually pull it out and I can say, okay, this is what I did. This is probably why I'm feeling this way. This is what I need to do. Okay. And one other thing I want to touch on is you all, sometimes I want to tell you, don't be so hard on yourself, especially if you are trying something new, you are trying to switch habits. This is not just something you can just snap your fingers. You have to be consistent. You have to be, you have to keep going, even though you slacked off. Yeah, I mean, it was Easter. Everybody say, oh, it was Easter Sunday. That's fine. Acknowledge that and go on to the next day. As long as you're acknowledging that and you know what you need to do to get back on. Hey, Roz, I need support in this. I need help with this. We will get back on. I just don't want you to get hung up. Then that's what I do. Just get hung up on one specific thing. Well, I did this wrong, so I have messed the whole thing up. No, you acknowledge it, you get back on, and you move forward, because this is not a quick sprint. Like I was telling you all at the beginning or before this program, the some of the things that you're taking now, you're going to take for the rest of your life. This is not a quick sprint. This is not a quick fix. These are habits. These are tools that you are going to be able to utilize. And when you're stuck or you feel like you've gone off track, you can get back to these resources and look at these tools and say, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to get back on track. So I don't want you to feel like you are failing at anything, you're behind on anything. That is negative self-talk. That is things that your body recognizes as stress. So if you can just acknowledge those things and think about, hey, I'm doing good. I am in this program. I'm investing in myself. I've got off track for a day. That's okay. Get back on and move forward. Okay. So that's another thing that I wanted to touch on, because I know I'm like that. And I know maybe a few people in this group feel the same, that they just feeling like they're a failure if they have, a day or two that they're off. Okay. So this week we're going to get into movement. So this week, depending on where you are in your cycle, you will do movement aligned with that. Because I know a lot of times, I spoke with a one-on-one client yesterday. She literally, we did Dutch testing, and it showed that she did have some adrenal fatigue, and she was doing high intensity exercises basically every day. And one of the things, when you have issues with your adrenals, once you get your labs or get a test like the Dutch test, you'll know you're doing your body more harm than good, especially if you're already drained, you're already tanked, you don't have anything to give. You've got to do things that are aligned with your menstrual cycle. And when you are, let me let Jess in. Hello. She is trying to connect, but while she's trying to connect, but when you are in a specific part of your cycle, there are certain movements that are going to help target where you are in your cycle that can cause you less stress. Hello, Jess.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. I am just on here. I am talking about the movement factor of this week, and I was wanting to kind of touch base on that, because I was just talking about a client that had that really, she literally did high intensity exercises daily. And after we got her some labs drawn, we saw that her adrenal glands were suffering. And this is why a lot of times when we exercise and exercise and exercise and exercise, and we're not getting the results we want, there are certain times of there's high estrogen levels, and all the progesterone's low, a lot of things that we need to do to shift that time of the cycle. We need certain things. So that's what I was just touching on. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. So, what do you have anything in particular today that you are struggling with, that you need help with? I see that you are logging, girl. I see your logs daily. I am so happy that I see your logs come through. You're really keeping track of this. This is awesome.
I try to remember to do it before I go to bed, because sometimes I forget throughout the day to put each thing in.
Yeah.
But I'm trying. I'm trying to remember that.
Good. So on that side, I haven't seen that side of the database. Is it user friendly? I mean, I can see what you're doing, but is it user friendly, like the app? I forget what it's called, where you track your meals, like a meal tracking app? Is it similar, or is it, I just want to get the vibe of what that is looking like on your side.
Yes, ma'am, it's pretty user friendly. They don't they give specific like amounts and stuff, and you can't alter that.
Okay.
So I think I'm doing it correctly by changing the serving number, like if
Okay.
it's a small amount. But it's pretty user friendly.
Okay, awesome. Because I see that you have been on it every day. And you all make sure, if you are one that is like has to see it, has to know that you put this in here so you can track what you're doing, utilize some of these. There's a journal, I think there's a food journal, there's a mood journal, like all of those. Make sure you're utilizing these resources that are part of this platform. There's several things. That's why I didn't know what it looked like on your end, to make sure it was user friendly, or if it was just like all over the place. I didn't know what that was looking like. So I'm glad that
Right.
you have found something that you can do to track your food. So are you feeling a little bit yourself this week? But I appreciate you being transparent and sharing that bit of
Yeah.
information with us.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. This is a good week. The whole month of April is usually bad for us, and then September is another one because that's when everything happened with her.
Yeah.
Um, and I get nervous when I mention it, because I never know how somebody's going to react, and some people I make uncomfortable, and so I tend not to say anything.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's difficult, like when they ask me, oh, how many kids do you have and what are their ages, and I never know exactly how to respond properly to that.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. Everybody has a different perception of things,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
it seems like when if we're, I mean, not everybody's a mom, not everybody's a mom. I
Right.
understand that, but there are people that are aunts, that are sisters. Like, it's almost like we as women in general, even though we may not have physical kids, we get it. We have mothered something,
Yes, ma'am.
a dog or something, and in some capacity. So it was something that I think we all appreciated that you did that. You sound like you tried to, stay on track, but I do know that it was hard, and I appreciate, because
Yes,
you
ma'am.
just never know what people are going through. You just never
Right.
know. You just kind of have to just if you feel like, I'm glad that you felt like the energy was there, that you could come and share that, because I think I mean, people know and kind of say, man, nah, probably this is
Yeah.
probably not the
Yes,
right
ma'am.
place. But I'm glad that you felt the energy that in this space. That might have not been something that you necessarily would have shared probably on the Facebook group. There's more
No,
people,
ma'am. Yeah.
but a more intimate spot
Yes.
like here, we've got 4 people. I'm glad, because it sets things in perspective, that you never know what people are going through.
Right.
And
Everybody's going through something.
everybody's going through something. And I
Yes,
know a lot
ma'am.
of people think, well, dang, my life, what it's everybody. And it's something that we could have, I learned from it. I took away from it, because I was thinking, well, gosh, I'm worried about sleep. It's just, you're able to put things in perspective.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm glad that you were able to have support with your family and husband for
Yes, he
during that.
he's not perfect, but he tries, and he really tries to do what he feels I need. So
Okay.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Certain times you just want to be. There's nothing,
Yes.
there's nothing that nobody can really do, not to say. It's just like, just be sitting beside me or something like that.
Yes.
And I'm glad
Right.
that he knows to be there and comfort you in that capacity. So I was very, very grateful. And I knew that I was like, she's showing up like that. That really meant a lot to me. So it really warmed my heart, because I'm like, well, she must be really comfortable with me to share that. So I don't take that stuff lightly, because like you said, it certain times people may or may not feel comfortable, sharing that piece of information
Yes, ma'am.
with them. So I appreciate it. But other than that, how are you making out this week? I know we had Easter a couple of days ago, and I know people was off track, and I just was talking about it. I was like, y'all, that's one day. If you acknowledge it, you move
Right.
on, eat the piece of cake or whatever you're going to do, acknowledge it and move forward, because this is not a quick race. This is not a sprint. This is a lifetime journey.
Yes.
And as long as you acknowledge and know the things that you need to do, unless you are going into this spiral, you just go ahead and move forward. So do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have any questions about the module this week or anything last week or anything, any of the things that I was sharing? We were sharing a lot of swaps. We were sharing a lot of this and a lot of different things that maybe some have shared and not. And I know, I don't know if I've seen this. I know Sarah has posted that she was going to try 3 new things. I'm wondering if there's anything on that list that you have not tried. Or are you willing to, are you up for the challenge to try over these next few weeks?
I was talking to my husband about that. On the list, I've tried all of those. The only
Okay.
ones that I absolutely do not, I can't eat are avocados. I don't know what the texture. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we were talking about it. We've never tried jackfruit, so I was like, well, maybe I can find one of those if I go into one of the bigger cities out here. Gainesville is about an hour and a half away from us.
Okay.
If I go there, I could probably find one there. But we were talking about different things that we've never tried.
Okay. Well, hey, jackfruit is great. A lot of vegans, I've had jackfruit before, and to me, it was just like, I don't know, kind of similar to what it didn't really have a taste. You just added the stuff to it to have a taste. It had like a meaty texture. So
Right.
it was, I mean, I enjoyed it. I've had it several times before. But yeah, as far as the avocados, now let me ask you this.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever tried them froze? Like, say, for instance, you froze the avocados. There was no texture. You had them in a smoothie.
I have not tried them frozen. They've always been fresh or like in guacamole or something like that.
I want you to see if you can find a small, not a big bag, not those big economy bags. I
Yes, ma'am.
want you to try, like, get a small frozen. This is what I want you to do, because it will be the creamiest smoothie you have ever had in your life. Like, it almost makes it like a milkshake consistency. I think just because of the fat and the oils in it. So because it has a lot of like good nutrients in it, I want you to just, because it doesn't have any taste. And I think I had Kristen I asked her to do it in her smoothie. So see if you can get a small bag that's not not that expensive, or get you some, freeze them to where they're solid, and you mix them with the other fruit and all the other stuff. And you tell me, you're not going to taste it or anything like that, because avocados to me don't have a taste. It's like the creamy texture of things. I want you to try it and see if that's not the best smoothie. Like if you have like a Ninja or a blender or something like that, it'll be like not ice cream, but just kind of like one of those like a milkshake consistency. It will be very creamy. So you'll have the added benefit of the fat there, and then you've got your fruit and stuff like that. So see if you can try to maybe do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try that. Yeah.
So
my protein powder did come, so I have that also.
Awesome. Yeah. Like that one has been one of my favorites, because some of these protein powders out here are just,
they're gross.
Well, they're gross.
Yeah.
They have like, so one of my one-on-one clients, it looked like a very good smoothie, but it had like grains and
Hmm.
barley. I was like, no, we need something. And I will say a lot of probably the best ones is probably going to be plant-based, because
Right.
a lot of the ones with whey are, when I've done that before, to me, they taste gritty. They have a
Yeah.
gritty consistency. And of course, whey is, dairy. And I don't, really promote that, especially when we're trying to like deal with our hormones and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think plant-based is the way to go, especially if they're made out of either like pea or some type of like, now rice, maybe hemp protein. That I've had hemp protein a couple of times, but the
Hmm.
one that I showed you, I felt like has been the one taste wise, because I'm very funny about consistency and what things taste like.
Yes.
Can only vouch for the vanilla. I have not had the chocolate. My husband has the chocolate. I don't even know what that tastes like. I'm scared to go deviate really, because those things, they're not cheap.
Yeah.
And if you can get one in a local health food store, sometimes they'll have like a very like small packet of one that
Hmm.
you can try, so you're not having to pay like $30 for a whole thing and not
Right.
like it. So I'm glad that you've got that. And try, when you get that, I want you to do either get just cut off an avocado and freeze it to where it is frozen solid in little
Okay.
pieces, so it tricks your mind, and then
Right.
put it in with your different fruits and see how you like it with your protein powder. Put your greens and all that in there. It'll be,
Okay.
I want you to report to the group how that ends up.
How it ended up. Okay.
Yeah, how that ends up being. So this week I am taking it easy on I'm gonna be probably doing low impact like yoga and walking. Just because I had so much issues with the sleep issue last week, and that's resolved. I do probably every 6 months I have this issue where a whole week I don't sleep. And I think a lot of it
Oh,
has to do with stress, and
yes. Ma'am.
nothing to do with the starting of last week. Like I was saying before, it had to do with the weeks before. I was not taking care of myself at all. That's why I was like, I need to do this 30-day with my clients, because I am way off. I was
Right.
having stress, and I think it came back to bite me last week. Although I felt lighter, clothes were less tight, the bloating was going down, but then I was like,
Hmm.
I am awake at night. And I think it was literally like the cortisol levels were just going haywire. And then I was craving during the day, because I guess my body was so tired and it was looking for quick energy. And in our brains, quick energy is like crazy stuff, like the carbs and the sugars and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I was trying to have a good balance and then drinking my water and stuff. But once I had to take some magnesium supplements, which are great for sleep, did that. I know my magnesium's off because I get leg cramps sometimes. So I know that was the problem, and I'm feeling better and I can get back on track, because I'm a sleep person. I cannot. Some of these people saying, well, I sleep when I die. Well, your hormones are going to be trash. You can't have that. You can't. It's like sleep is so underrated in this culture. I don't know, like nobody wants to sleep. Either they have problems sleeping or they think that they don't need to sleep.
Right.
So it's just a horrible thing, but I'm feeling better. I meal prepped this morning, so I am good. I'm back on track, so I'm glad about it. So is there anything, I feel like I'm talking about myself. What else do you need? What other questions can I answer for you right now that we're on? Anything with the menu? Is there something more that you want to see? Is there any questions about any of the food choices or swaps or anything like that? I'm gonna get
I
a drink of
don't.
water. Okay.
I don't think so. Not right now.
Okay.
I think. I think I'm okay right now.
All right.
Oh, I did have a question. About eggs. Are we okay to have an egg, or should we skip eggs?
Okay. So eggs this is what I say about eggs.
Uh-huh.
Eggs are inflammatory, but for this program, I would say if they're depend on the source of the egg. If they are pasture raised, if they are, organic, I would say go ahead. But
Okay.
here's the thing with eggs. Eggs also, when I work with some of my one-on-one clients, when I see their labs and I see what their hormones levels are looking like,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, eggs are very inflammatory once I see the lab portion. But if you do them in sourced. That's
Okay.
eggs is not something that I would do a whole lot of like every day. I know people that do eggs every day. And like I was saying before, switch up your eggs. Now, if you know that you actually have, Hashimoto's or
Yes.
something like that, you got to skip the eggs. But since I don't
Okay.
know particular things, I just know that we're just doing a general basis. I would say make sure they're good, organically sourced, they're pasture raised, those type of eggs that I would do. And I would not do the eggs. Maybe if I would do maybe once or twice a week, because what I will say too, if you want to know if you're intolerant to them, cut it out for a week or so and then introduce them and see if you feel fatigued, feel
Okay.
like you can't think, feel like you're bloated if you're having constipation, or you're breaking out in little bumps or itching,
Okay.
and you've not changed anything else, chances are it's the eggs, and you may
Okay.
be intolerant to the eggs, and it's causing your body some form of inflammation.
Okay.
And that can
Yeah.
be really simple. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we have chickens. They're free range, and
Oh yeah.
that's where the eggs are coming from.
Okay.
Yes,
Awesome.
ma'am.
So those
Yeah.
are the top, the notch. Like I don't particularly eat eggs. Why? Because I knew my Dutch test. I knew my hormones, and
Right.
eggs are high on the inflammatory list.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, but
Okay.
it's one of those things where you got to be like, okay, are they any run of the mill eggs? Where are the eggs
Right.
coming from? How are they sourced? Are they organic? That sort of thing. And
Okay.
you've got to watch to see how you feel, because that's what I would urge you to do. Go a
Okay.
week without eating anything with egg white, or eggs in it, and then introduce it. And probably, a few days, if like within 24, 72 hours, you're like, dang, why am I so bloated and tired and that sort of thing,
Okay.
you may not want to do the eggs, because you might not always have GI symptoms. You will
Right.
have like little bumps, or they're like, why am I coming up in this room like starting to have brain fog, and
Mm-hmm.
or you feel like you're swelling, or your face is swollen or something like that. Those are signs of food intolerances,
Okay.
not
Okay.
like just the hay fever, and
Yes.
those are immediate. And I know my son had an immediate reaction, but we're looking for those delayed within like 24 to 72 hours, even 72 hours too. So
Okay.
that's what I would say about eggs. Not everybody. I had made the mistake and put eggs on the list, but I was like, oops, that's a mistake. But I would say, if I was to probably work with a lot of women in this group, eggs would probably not be a good choice,
Okay.
especially if I looked at their thyroid and their gut health and all that stuff started to unravel. That will be some of the things that we will look at, but that don't mean that for the rest of their lives they have to not have eggs. But I do know they're pretty high with gluten and dairy.
Okay.
So does that help?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't 100% sure, and I do know that they are inflammatory. So I wanted to ask before.
They are
Yeah.
not as high as gluten and dairy. I know. So you've got gluten, dairy, soy are the top
Yes.
three, when we know that we have women with issues like this. And then after that, eggs and some of the nuts and seeds, and even some of the nightshades,
Mm-hmm.
like the peppers and stuff like that. But we're not going to get like that into it. But that's what I will say about any food that you think that you may be questioning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Without even doing a food intolerance test, I would just kind of test yourself out. But I do know eggs are inflammatory for a lot of people, just
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times they use eggs for mediums to, like, say you go to the doctor and they want to do a throat culture. Well, what's on that petri dish is egg based, and it makes bacteria, it feeds like bacteria. So if you think you're eating that, that's what, especially if you have like yeast or something you don't know you have, you're
Right.
eating these eggs, all you're doing is giving it food to eat and thrive and proliferate through. So yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So
All right.
hopefully that makes sense. So are you
Yes.
enjoying like this group? Give me some feedback on this so far, like the resources, some of the things that the recipes, the feedback of what I give on the actual timeline.
Yes, ma'am.
Everything okay?
That's been great. I'm actually newly diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and I did not know about the like cooking the vegetables so that I'm able to digest them better, which kind of explains some
Okay.
issues that I've been having for a couple years now with when I eat like the raw spinach, or when I have like a regular iceberg lettuce salad, it doesn't sit right. And I
Okay.
never really knew what was going on other than I guess my body doesn't like it. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that you share, because like I said, I don't know everybody's diagnosis unless I'm working with you one-on-one. I don't know all
Right.
these things. So yeah, so with that, that caveat was, I know a lot of people, it's in the literature about these goitrogenic foods, which
Yeah.
are a lot of them like the broccoli, the cauliflower, and all that. But eating raw food, the issue with Hashimoto's a lot of time is leaky gut and your immune system. And when you can't digest some of the the fibers and that stuff in those vegetables, it does cause some GI upset. So either
Right.
blending them up in a smoothie or actually steaming them or cooking them, it gets those things out of there so you can digest them better. I'm not saying eat those things every day.
Right.
Keep things in rotation.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
like I said, the same thing with eggs. More than likely it's probably inflammatory, now that I do know that you have a diagnosis of Hashimoto's.
Yeah.
I would say see how you feel with the eggs, because in the hindsight, when we take a lot of the inflammatory things out, we're taking the sugar, we're taking the gluten, we're taking the dairy, all of those things. See how you feel with the eggs. Now gluten has to be hands down, you got to get, because that actually
Yeah.
like it plays into that gut lining, and it mimics the thyroid tissue, and then your immune system's just all like confused and jacked
Yeah.
up and stuff like that. So
The
okay,
the
so
gluten has me messed up.
oh
I am
yeah,
definitely,
gluten,
yeah, I
yeah,
have outward symptoms of gluten intolerance. But yes.
yes,
Yeah, the
okay,
gluten is
so
not fun.
yeah.
Especially going, you eat bread all your life and then all of a sudden you can't anymore.
Yeah, and like I said, there are other options luckily these days, but like it really, really like does a number on your immune
Yes.
system. And that
Yes.
is why you're not uptaking these thyroid hormones, is because so much inflammation there. But yes, gluten, luckily it's not 30 years ago when we didn't have any alternatives
Right.
and stuff like that.
Yep.
So yeah, but I would say see how you do with eggs. I know someone that had Hashimoto's that ate eggs every day.
Okay.
Can't do that.
Right.
Yeah. Just see how you do.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for sharing that. That might help someone else in this group with
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So you've got that information. Anything else today?
I don't think so. My I ordered my water jug. It came this morning, so I'm gonna wash that and get it filled up. So I have my big water jug now and some limes
Oh,
to
awesome.
put in it. I've never actually done limes in it. I've done lemon before. So I'm kind of excited about trying it with the lime.
Limes, they get like, I feel like a lot of times limes, my husband eats a lot of limes and I didn't have any lemons when we were starting last week. I was putting limes. I felt like I literally was like, it was literally cleansing me out like
Mhm.
differently than lemons.
Right.
So it could be, I mean, it's different. Those both what they do, they both alkaline your body, and that it's a good thing when you have your system is alkaline, because acidic
Right.
is a bad environment, and things like to proliferate in acidic bacteria and that sort of thing. So yeah, so try that water. That's how you can know. So if you're a visual person, you can see, okay,
Yes,
my
ma'am.
line, I need to get going on my water.
Yes.
So yeah, so thank you so much, Jessica, for coming on with me today. And I know the others may be working. That's fine. They will get a lot of value. You can see my dog in the background. He is on. Look, what?
Oh, look how handsome.
Say hello, ladies. Say hello, Jessica.
Hello.
Say hi. My name's Bailey. So,
Bailey.
yeah, his name is Bailey.
He's
Oh,
a cutie.
thank you. He must have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
He's from the groomers. So I think if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to wrap it up and I'm going to take him to the bathroom. I was on for quite a bit and I was just trying to hit all the highlights, but just be mindful of your exercise and movement this week based on your cycle, and let me know, like some of the cycle syncing and the castor oil packs are very, very informative. So let me know if you have any questions about that. Do that. You'll start to really feel a difference, especially if you have the Hashimoto's with gut. It'll really help just support your liver and gut at the right time of your cycle and stuff like that. So let me know how you make out with the castor oil packs and our movement for this week. So all right. Thank you so much, Jess, for coming on today. And I will have this uploaded and recorded, and for everybody, in case you want to see the beginning before you hopped on. So I'll have that posted shortly. It takes a little bit to download, but yeah. All right, ladies, thank you so much. And I will go ahead and get this uploaded this afternoon. Okay. Thank you so much, Jess. And you hang in there. I'm so glad that you're feeling good this week.
Yes, ma'am. Feeling good this week. Thank you.
All righty. I will see you in the group.
All righty.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.